What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today in this video we're going to be speaking about some Manchester City news, but also speaking about possible resumption of football in England. Before we crack on with this video though, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content and you want to help support my channel, then please subscribe, press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. My aim is to get to 6,000 subscribers ASAP, so any help to us, that would be much appreciated. We're approaching 5,700 subscribers as we speak, and we're only 16 away from that, so any help to us, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. You can also find my social media links in the description below and popping up on screen if you want to go and follow me on Twitter and Instagram, keep you up to date with all the latest happenings, retweeting sources and stuff like that, so feel free, you can go and follow me on them. You can also find my email in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or hit me up with any general business enquiries, then please feel free to do so. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Get a bit of football interaction in there. I'm missing football a lot, so any comments and football interaction of stuff would be much appreciated during these difficult, dark times. And also, don't forget, also leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. A quick note, if you want to give me any video requests or video suggestions, please again just leave them in the description below and I'll see what I can do. So in terms for possible football resumption, I was getting word from yesterday that the EFL are looking to try and have the players for the EFL team, so Championship, League 1, League 2, to be resuming their training again at some point in May. For some reason I've got May 6th in my head, but I imagine they'll be looking at some point once the lockdown in the UK is, well, stopped, then they may well be able to have, at least with some social distancing there, because I imagine there'll be a bit of distancing in there even when the lockdown is, is stopped, that I imagine that players will be able to resume their training and be able to gather up some kind of fitness ready for the resumption of football. And the plan is that they want it resumed by June, and they want the season to be 56 days, so that's going to give them roughly just under 2 months to get the season completed. And I was just doing a little bit of research, a little bit of digging, and they're wanting to resume the 2020-2021 season at some point in September. Of course, we cast our minds back just a couple of weeks ago. The Euro 2020 is now being put back to the summer of 2021, so that's when the Euros are going to be, the European Championships, that's when they're going to be happening. And so it seems like the EFL, and I'm going to presume that the Premier League is going to go along the same routes here, that they're going to try and look to get the season back underway if they can by June. Now, there's a little bit of debate that I saw on Twitter, in particular one coming in from Ian Cheeseman, the former BBC commentator for BBC Radio Manchester. I used to listen to him all the time when the times that I didn't have Sky TV and couldn't get to games and stuff, just go and listen on the radio. Ian Cheeseman, a big name in the Manchester City community, he was tweeting out, I think it was either this morning or yesterday, about how football fans, they're the heart and soul, or the message he was getting across anyway, was that the heart and soul of the footballing community, and to resume football where fans can watch on their televisions and not watch in the stadium, so they'll be played behind closed doors, obviously, that it's just not the same and it shouldn't be happening. And he was suggesting that he'd like to see football resumed in England only when it's safe to do so, and when it's safe to do so for the fans as well. That, to me, we'll just play along that line, by the way, because that's roughly where I'm standing with this. Now, I'm at a point personally where there's not a lot happening in the UK. A lot of people are on lockdown, lots of people are staying at home unless you're an essential worker who are working extremely hard at this very challenging and difficult time. Much respect to them too, fantastic work that they are doing, keeping the country rolling, fantastic effort. But we're just looking for that little pick-me-up, to the light at the end of the tunnel and stuff like that. And when lots of people, football, the biggest sport in the United Kingdom, lots of people rely on football for social interactions with the friends and the families and stuff like that, it just becomes a regular part of your day-to-day life. And to me, you say that football's going to be resuming, you say it's going to be behind closed doors. I'm like, well, actually, I'm excited for that, because it's been so long since we've had any live football being played that I'm at a point where I'd take anything. But when I actually sit down and think about it, actually, I'm not too sure, if I'm completely honest with you. This is why I've done this video. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments below of this, because I'm not too sure. If football was to resume, the quickest way that the Premier League can do that, and it's all money related, by the way. They're just not wanting to give money back to the sponsors, not wanting the sponsors to be able to pay the clubs so the players can pay the staff and be able to make profits and make more money and be able to continue basically as business as normal and be able to do some activity in the summer transfer window, etc, 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 because the season doesn't resume or it's cancelled, then it's going to have a knock-on effect with everything, and there's going to be lots of money owed here, there, and just about anywhere. It's just going to get really messy, and so they're just going to want to be able to play the games behind closed doors, and it's kind of just shoving the fans, in my opinion, just to one side. And I understand why the clubs would be doing it from a business perspective, because I've got qualifications in business, I understand why clubs are doing it, but as a fan myself, it makes me extremely sad that fans are just getting shoved to one side here. I've got tickets to go to the Real Madrid game in the last 16 of the Champions League. That will more than likely be played, if it does get played, behind closed doors, so I'm not going to be able to see the moment where Manchester City could well become, a big hurdle, basically, in our European conquest of being able to knock out an elite team like Real Madrid. All the hard work of what happened in the first leg, it's not, the fans aren't going to be able to see the reward. We're having a good cup run in the FA Cup, and it's coming a point where we may well not be able, if we do win the FA Cup, for the fans to see the team win the FA Cup. Same with Liverpool. They're going to win the Premier League, we know that, but it's more than likely they're going to win the Premier League with no fans actually at Anfield, and I'm sure Liverpool fans would be ecstatic to win it, but it's not the same. It isn't. It really isn't the same that you're not there in the stadium, being able to witness history and being able to watch your team be successful. And it has a knock-on effect at the other end as well, for fans and supporters wanting to show their appreciation and passion for their club should something like relegation happen. Not able to show their compassion towards the club. There's nothing worse, I imagine, for a footballer than just having all of your efforts for the season have no reward at the end of it, and you're going to be relegated. Players are in tears, they're extremely upset. The fans, they share the emotion, they're extremely upset too. There's lots of emotion flying about here, there and everywhere, but it just makes you love football. That's what football's all about. All of the ups and the downs and supporting your team and playing it behind closed doors. I mean, I'm not saying the emotions will still be there, you will still feel them, you just won't be in the stadium, and so the club aren't going to be able to see the passion for themselves. The players won't be able to see the passion. If you get relegated, like people are going to be shouting, they're going to be extremely upset and stuff if you get relegated, but also on the other hand, you get to see the fans showing their appreciation of how hard you have worked, and all of the uplifting stuff that does come with a relegation, where actually you're taking a step back, but you can take 2 steps forward, and that does come across on the football field and stuff. And so, yeah, there's all that stuff that being played behind closed doors. It's just not the same. And so I'm torn between being a football fan, I don't want this to happen, and then I'm torn between actually, for the sake of the season, actually playing it behind closed doors, and we can get back to normal basically sooner rather than later, and it's just something we've got to go through. But it isn't the same. Ian Cheeseman, he did put out a great suggestion of saying, why don't we call it the 2019 to 2021 season, and when it's safe to resume. So I've heard like September, I've heard in the autumn, I've even heard next year, January of next year, before it might be safe enough for fans to resume and go back into their stadiums to have a social gathering, of a large gathering. I'm talking of over 300 people, and so it's difficult. It's really difficult. The lower league football teams are going to miss out on lots of revenue, and trust me, League 1, League 2, maybe even the bottom end of the Championship, certainly into the National League, these clubs, they rely on their business to be successful. They rely on fans coming week in, week out, following their team, making money on the catering, making money on the match day programs, making money in the bars, making all the businesses around the football stadium. They rely on that to take that away from the clubs. It's difficult. It's really difficult. I mean, they're going to have to employ staff to be able to basically disperse fans that are going to gather outside the stadium. Look at PSG when they had to play behind closed doors in the European Cup. They had a big mass gathering outside the Parc de France, and that'll happen up and down the country. And so it's just going to be really messy and difficult. To me, my opinion, I agree with Ian Cheeseman when he said this, that this most sensible option here that will appease everybody would be just when it's safe to do so, resume this season, but resume it only when it's safe for the players to play, the staff to turn up, and the fans to turn up too. If that means going into 2021, then we go into 2021. From a business point of view, that's more than likely not going to be applicable. There's more and more teams taking the furlough option here of having the government pay the wages. Gary Neville was speaking about, it's messy this, Gary Neville was speaking about if any club that's going into the furlough system, they shouldn't be allowed to make signings where they're paying money, which I agree with. I mean, Liverpool and Tottenham are just two teams that decided to do that. They've both backtracked it due to backlash. They've done that due to backlash, by the way, of how negative it was coming across, because it's just stupid. The amount of sponsorship money, the amount of money these Premier League teams they must be earning, it's astounding that they're wanting the government to pay their staff. That's incredible. It's cheeky too. Shouldn't be allowed. That shouldn't be happening. Teams do need it. Trust me, lower down in the divisions, teams need that system. Premier League teams do not. There is lots of money in the Premier League. You trust me, if you can't afford to pay your staff month by month when football's closed down, and it's been closed down now for a month, you can't afford to pay your staff, you need to have a serious look at your finances and how you are managing your accounts. If for 1 month you're already struggling, you're relying on the government to pay it, they're just doing that to be cheeky and cheap, basically. Yeah, like I said, it's going to be really messy, but one or two ways he might, another option is to cancel the season, which I'm sure just take Liverpool out of the equation. I know lots of people don't like Liverpool, you know, it is what it is, but take Liverpool out of the equation. If this was Manchester City sitting at the top of the Premier League, what would you want to happen? I mean, I should imagine lots of people will be saying cancel the season, they don't care, City's won the Premier League enough times over the last few seasons, doesn't really matter to this season, but it does. It does matter. Hard work being put in from every single person up and down the country who runs the football clubs, to the players on the pitch, all the supporting staff, all of the fans making the dedication following it week in, week out, and all the supporters from around the globe. Yeah, all the football, we just want it to resume, and we want it to be safe. And resuming it, I mean, you're putting people at risk, even playing it behind closed doors. You're going to need all the staff and stuff. It's going to be social distancing. It's 2 meters at the moment. It's going to be really difficult. While the UK's on lockdown, football won't be resuming, but give it another month or so, we'll see where we lie. But at the moment, it seems like it's going to be quite unlikely for the season to be cancelled, and instead we're going to be looking at a resumption of football into the summer behind closed doors, no fans. Yeah, let me know what you think of that in the comments below. So there we go, I've waffled on for long enough now. I'll see you all again for the next video. I've got some video requests, so I'll get along with doing them at some point further on into the week. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe and help support my channel. Press that red button, press the bell, put your push notifications on. You can also find my email in the description below if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships, for any videos, or any general business inquiries. My social media links, they're also in the description below and popping up on screen if you want to go and follow me on my social media. Pop your thoughts in the comments below of the whole sticky situation that's happening at this moment in time, and also do let me know of any video requests that you'd like. Drop a like on this video, leave a thumbs up if you enjoy this video, and I'll see you all again for the next video. So I've been JSGC. Hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.